Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Laurine Garrod, Director of the TV Division at Reed Meadham. Welcome to the MIPCOM 2013 World Premiere TV Screening. A lot's been said and written recently about what's being called the new golden age of TV. A new golden age that we're clearly witnessing here at this MIPCOM. An age where great stories originating from all parts of the world are being brought to global TV audiences and all screens. And an age where international partnerships are being forged, creating outstanding programs. Tonight we're absolutely thrilled to premiere The Tunnel, the perfect example of an international cooperation between Sky Atlantic HD and Canal Plus, who commissioned the series, Shine International, who are distributing it, and co-producers Kudos and Shine France Films. A very big thank you to Shine, Sky, and Canal Plus for presenting The Tunnel here tonight. And we're also delighted and very honored to have in this room the 5 stars of The Tunnel and the creative team who produced the series. They'll be joining us on stage for a Q&A at the end of the screening. And now a very, very warm welcome to Alex Mahon, CEO of the Shine Group, Maxime Sada, Executive Senior Vice President of Canal Plus Group, and Stuart Murphy, Director, Sky Entertainment. Welcome.
Thank you, Laurine. On behalf of Shine Group and of our co-producers, Kudos and Shine France, and our distributor, Shine International, it is a true honor for The Tunnel to be invited to be the opening night premiere here at MIPCOM. Thank you, Reed Meadham, and to all of you for coming. The Tunnel is the first primetime drama to be made in both English and French, a truly international co-production, bilingual, cross-border, funded by 2 broadcasters in Sky Atlantic and Canal Plus. So to have the opportunity to see it play out here at the most international of all television festivals is, we feel, both appropriate and a genuine privilege. The Tunnel is an adaptation of Bron, or The Bridge, from Sweden and Denmark, from our company Filmlance there, whose brilliant concept and stunning multi-layered execution is the inspiration for what you are about to see. We believe that The Tunnel is very true to The Bridge's DNA, and yet it takes it on to an entirely new canvas, one where the relationship between the French and the English, our sense of humor, our eccentricities, and our different cultures, is played out against a truly thrilling plot. Jane Featherston from Kudos and Nora Melly from Shine France have created something truly spectacular. I'd also like to thank some of our talent who you will see later here tonight. Stephen Delane, Clemence Poesy, Tom Bateman, Cedric Vieira, and Sigrid Boisiz, and director Dominic Moll have juggled some very, very demanding schedules to all make it here tonight. And at the end of the show, you will see them in a Q&A chaired by our very own Jane Featherston. But the most thanks for us must go to our partners, Sky Atlantic and Canal Plus. They have been a privilege to work with, truly collaborative and supportive in allowing us to realize an extremely ambitious project. So with that, I will hand over to Maxime from Canal Plus.
Thank you. Thank you to MIP for giving us the honor to introduce this drama to this audience. We're very proud to be here. We launched original programming 10 years ago at Canal Plus with ever-growing success, from Engrenage to Braco to Les Revenants, critical success, commercial success. Today, our original dramas are the #3 reason why people subscribe to Canal Plus, even ahead of US drama, and we're very proud of that. Tunnel is everything we like about the drama. As you mentioned, talent is really the key driver for us. Writing talent with Ben Richards, directing talent with Dominic Moll and the team, and incredible casting talent with Stephen Delane and our very own Clemence Poesy, which we will claim as French. Again, we're very honored, and I will leave the floor to Stuart.
Thanks very much. We've been developing our drama slate at Sky for some years, and we've just got one purpose, and that's to be game-changing. And I'm delighted to introduce you to The Tunnel, because it's the first of these new dramas, and I hope it does exactly that. It's going to run on Sky Atlantic, which is the home of HBO, where we run shows that are epic, cinematic, and world-class. And the only reason we can achieve that level of quality is by working with international broadcasters who share our editorial vision. It's been a delight working with Canal Plus, and I hope we'll do it a lot more in the future. The show is going to run on Sky Atlantic on the 16th of October, but will transmit a week before on demand exclusively to Sky viewers from the 10th of October. Thanks as well to Canal Plus, to Kudos Film and TV, to Shine International, Film Lance, and Shine France. And I hope you really enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Is that working? Yeah, good. I'm going to wait for the haunting music to stop. Thank you so much for coming tonight, and I'd like to say again what a privilege it is to be here to show the premiere to all of you at MIPCOM this year. I've got an amazing panel here I'm going to introduce you to soon, but I remember, I'm Jane Featherstone, the executive producer of The Tunnel, and I remember 2 years ago, Lars from Film Lance, which is our sister company in the Shine Group, showed me the first 3 minutes of Bron, the original series, and I remember thinking what an incredible show that was, and what an incredible adaptation that would make, because the relationship between Britain and France has never been examined before, really, in this way. So we used that as a starting point to create the show, and in order to do that, we needed to put together the A-list creative team, many of whom are sat here. This is the longest panel I've ever seen, actually. So we've only got 15 minutes, it's running out. I'm going to have to talk faster and try and get everyone a chance to speak. So I'm going to introduce you to everyone. Stephen Delane, Clémence Poésy, Tom Bateman, Cédric Bouaziz, I'm trying to say it correctly, Cédric Vieira, Dominic Moll, and Nora Melli. First of all, our very beautiful and gorgeous panel tonight. Clémence, I'm going to start with you first, if that's all right. When we started developing this, people thought that we might go for the stereotypes of the uptight Brit playing the cop and the rather more passionate French playing the French character, but we haven't really done that. Would you mind talking a bit about how the French and British characters are played throughout the series?
How the French and British characters are played?
Yeah.
Well, I can sort of talk for mine, maybe. Yeah. I'd feel a bit weird talking about other people, but I think it's what I love about the series is that it's not about people being French or English. It's about people being people and people dealing with their past, the present, what they have to do, how they do it, new encounters. More than them being that. I mean, I think I would have been a bit scared if it had been about playing a French character and working with an English cop. But it just felt like it was two really strong characters working together and living together and learning to know each other and understand a bit more about the world, I guess.
Yeah, and their relationship between Carl and Elise is obviously so key to the whole series. And against the political backdrop of Europe, and Stephen, I think from your point of view in terms of Carl, his background was interesting to how you approached him, I think, and what you were interested in the series.
Yeah, we only got to see the first 2 episodes when we took on the job, but there seemed to be this interesting political backdrop, as Jane said, of a Europe that was in danger of breaking up, and a sense of the rise of the far right and the potential problems of mass immigration and all these issues, along with the global questions of how we consume and who pays for the consumption, along with the rise of youth unemployment, all these sort of issues. That seemed to be an interesting backdrop to me, and then that was combined with this character that I was being asked to play, who had a sense of a background that was his father was an old communist and would have grown up with a kind of background of political idealism, which was something that he seems to have lost and maybe is being asked to reclaim, which I thought was quite interesting.
Thank you. And Clémence, one more question about Elise. She's such a distinctive character, and your portrayal is so memorable, I think. Would you mind just talking a bit about what defines her for you as a character, why she's interesting and special to you?
I think we really found her when we found her relationship to truth, which is very pure. I think she just says things the way they are, which we never do. And that sort of puts her in a weird place socially. It makes her an incredible cop in a way, and then it makes her lack everything Carl has, which is empathy and maybe a bit more emotions, a bit more of a sort of, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's the only way we defined her. We never wanted it to be a pathology or a disease or some kind of medical condition. I just wanted her to be as pure as you can be with truth, really, and facts.
Great. And Stephen, I think from Carl's point of view, I don't think you've played a character over this period of time before. I suppose Game of Thrones has some of that, but you didn't know where this was going to end, I think. Is that right? Did you approach that? Was that different in terms of approaching a character who you were going on the journey as you received the scripts?
It was different in that it was sort of you were making decisions that seemed to withhold something, I think, because you don't want to leave any hostages to fortune. You don't quite know where it's going. You know roughly where the plot's going, but you don't necessarily know what everything means. So there's a sort of inherent instability with the script that you're continually trying to deal with. So I suppose it means that it can be fun. I mean, the benefit of it is that you simply have to surrender to whatever's in front of you, and that can produce a certain
spontaneity. Trust those bloody producers. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So that's the good side. The downside is that maybe you don't make quite such bold decisions as you might if you really knew what was coming.
It worked from my point of view, but anyway. Tom, if I could come to you.
Hello.
Here, find your microphone.
Hello.
Danny, if I may say, is a pretty hideous, unlikable character in many ways, and you did a brilliant job of portraying him for us. Are you drawn to characters like that? It's quite a departure, I think, but was it that the devil gets the best lines? What attracted you to him?
Typecasting, maybe. I think the devil gets the best lines is quite true, yeah, because there's some later episodes where some of the lines are absolutely magic, and you think, how can this person behave like this, treat people like this? Is absolutely horrible. But I think what I liked about him so much was actually looking at why he is like this, because nobody's born evil or an asshole. You know, it's all things have happened to him, and it just becomes a shell. So I was quite interested in looking at playing the arsehole. That was good fun, but also just throughout the series with things happening to him, when that mask starts to drop and things actually start to affect him, and seeing the real person beneath that as well. That was more fun to play as well.
Great, thank you. And Sigrid and Cedric, can I ask you a question? You may answer in French if you prefer. I won't understand a word, but you can. The people in the audience may.
We can try in English.
One of the things that marks the series out, I think, is that there's a level of humour in the show, and part of that comes from your character's interaction with Elise as part of that. Would you say that in terms of the work environment, she was a figure of fun for your characters, or did you respect her, or how do you see Elise?
We think she weird, but she's brilliant, so we respect her, but
It's sometimes hard to communicate with her, but for my character. But I want to be good for her.
That's like you want to work hard for her,
yeah,
because you love her. That's
sometimes.
Do you not
yes,
agree,
sometimes
Clémence?
Not.
I loved the interaction between the three of you. I thought it was wonderful. There was a respect, and over the 10 episodes, I think that really developed. You'll have to watch the next 9 to find out, but it really developed. I think. And Dominic, sorry, we're running out of time. I'm going to come back to a question for all of you. Dominic, who directed the first 2 episodes and created the look and style and everything for the show, would you mind talking a bit about how you achieved that and why you approached it like you did, that very distinctive Folkestone, Calais look?
Well, first of all, I think that every producers, writers, directors, everybody wanted it to have a very cinematographic look, and not say because it's television we want to make any compromises. And this is something that appealed to me when I was offered to set the tone and direct the first 2 episodes. And then the look itself came really from the actual locations and what we found there on the French and the English coastline. And of course, we were very lucky to be able to shoot in the actual tunnel, and which is an incredible location, and which we used as a starting point with the director of photography, with the production designer, to set the tone of the whole series. So something quite dark and contrasty, with a limited range of colors, with that yellow that we have in the yellow doors in the tunnel. That is quite important. But also there is a real special atmosphere around Calais, Dunkirk, around Folkestone. You feel that those are parts that are on the decline, and that are being abandoned, and it's just parts of the countries where people pass through. And even if there's this great piece of engineering, which is the tunnel that links the two, it's you feel that that there's a connection with this idea, that what Stephen was talking about, this idea of Europe crumbling apart, and this lost ideal of the European idea, and so I felt a very strong connection between the locations we found and that political idea.
Thank you. And Nora, you were responsible for putting the show together with the rest of the production team, and this was a big, bilingual, cross-border, huge, ambitious project. Can you just talk about some of the challenges of what that meant, having hundreds of different translated scripts and all the rest of the stuff that we had to go through?
I know we don't have so much time, so I can make in a few words. I would say that the journey that Carl and Elise had to learn to each other and to work together. On the production side, we had the same thing. So after a few weeks, when we all had the certitude that everyone was looking to make the same show, both Canal Plus and Sky and Kudos and Shine France Film, after we all, there was a trust and we went ahead. So it was l'entente cordiale.
Entente cordiale.
Yes. But
it is now. That's not what she was saying 9 months ago, I promise.
And just for an anecdote, we had, so it's a bilingual shooting, but we had to make the scripts to translate it in English, in French, and the bilingual. So we had, for each episode, each version, three different versions, in order to be sure that all the technicians, all the crew would understand all the show. So that was something which was quite a big challenge, but
you did
it. We've done it.
Dominic just referred to shooting in the tunnel. This was the first ever film crew to be allowed in Eurotunnel and to shoot in there, which was an amazing privilege to be able to do that. And I think it looks remarkable what you and Francoise achieved on that. Would you mind, those of you who shot in the tunnel, Sigrid and Cedric and you guys, talk a little bit about what it was like to be in there? I need Clémence to translate.
Ah, dans le tunnel en
It was
français,
nice.
ouais, en français. Hein. C'était assez oppressant, parce que c'est quand même assez étroit comme endroit. Et d'autant plus qu'il faisait super beau dehors quand on a tourné et qu'on était content d'aller manger à midi et récupérer le soleil, quoi. Mais oui, c'est assez étroit quand même, donc c'est assez oppressant comme endroit. Je sais pas ce que t'en as.
It's a weird place, but well, it's nice.
It's nice. How far in did you go when you shot those scenes in the opening?
I don't know, like
A few
I
miles.
think about 5 or 6 kilometers in.
Yeah. How about you two? Was it an interesting experience?
I loved it. I really liked it there.
What does that say about you, Clémence?
I don't know.
The deep tunnel.
We were very well treated by the people that run the place, and I found it rather moving. A lot of them were taking time off work to come and help out because they were so committed to this thing. A lot of them, they or their families had been involved in the building of the tunnel and had continued to work there, and they would go through. The French would maintain some of the vehicles, so they'd have to drive through and have communications with the French. So there was an entente cordiale going on under there as well. It was a very pleasant sort of family environment actually, which surprised me. I thought it would be much more sort of alienated in the way that the film implies that it is, and unfriendly. But actually, it was very pleasant.
It's quite a local industry, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's it, I'm afraid. We've run out of time for this bit, but we're going to ask questions from the audience for a few minutes. So if anybody has a question, please ask it now. Great, we've obviously told you everything you need to know. Here we go. Hello. We need a microphone to hear. It's absolutely brilliant. That's worth stating loudly.
Yeah, I thought it was really brilliant and very well played by all of you. I just wanted to ask, Clémence, your character, certainly in that episode, comes across as very buttoned up, let's just say. Do we see, as the series progresses, that she kind of gets a little bit more, relaxed is definitely not the word to use here, but, a bit more, do we see a lot more of her in terms of a bit more emotion and, less kind of her being so guarded?
I hope so. I do think she goes on a really big journey throughout the 10 episodes. I think she makes a friend for the first time in her life, and she understands what it's like to care about someone. And she happens to make a friend that makes jokes the whole time, so she has to sort of keep up with it a bit more. And then I kind of don't want to say too much, but she does. She changes, but you don't change people that much. So I also didn't want her to go all the way, because I thought that wouldn't be fair, really. I like her the way she is, even from the start.
Thank you.
Well, we'll leave it there then. Thank you. Oh, over there. Sorry, I can't see over there. Hello. Well spotted.
De l'autre côté, là-bas, tout au fond.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. I just wanted to congratulate you on, it was quite faithful to the original, The Bridge, and I thought that was brilliant. I mean, it's obviously has an English, French flair to it, but the original was, I thought it was quite faithful to that, and I liked it. I thought it was great. It's brilliant.
Thank you. That's it, I think, is it? Oh, over here. That's, as a Swede, the lady would like to know what you thought about the bridge. Is that right? Not everyone's seen it, I think. Hands up who's seen it.
We didn't.
I saw it just before the shooting, and it was great, very great. and but I don't know what is the best. I don't know.
Well,
Yes,
I don't
you
think
do.
it's. I don't think it's. I mean, I saw it too when I was offered to work on the French-English adaptation. I watched the Danish-Swedish one, and I thought it was really excellent. And I think the fact that there has been this French-English adaptation and also the American-Mexican one shows that there is really something very strong about it, and in that idea of a national collaboration of police forces, there's something very strong that can be adapted to different countries and giving it different flavors.
And I think you guys didn't see it, is that right? And still haven't?
No, I missed it when it came out and chose not to look at it before doing this, just in order to treat this as a entirely new thing.
And I'm really looking forward to see it now, that it's not going to be scary, or I don't know. Well, I hope it's going to be scary, but for other reasons. But yeah, I can't wait.
Is there? Do you intend to make a second? Do you intend to make a second series? I don't remember about the Bridge and Brawn, but or is that bouclé, as we say in French?
Shall I answer that one? Well, we have our broadcasters sitting here, so you can ask them, do we intend to make a second series? Depends how well it goes. Is that correct? Yeah. But we could, potentially. Yeah, it depends on the audience, exactly.
Au milieu. Au milieu, mademoiselle.
C'est bon. Derrière vous, monsieur.
Can I ask how you went about the writing process for this, in using the two languages? Was it written in one language first and then bounced back, or did you use a bilingual team, or how did it work?
We had a team, 2 French authors and 4 English. So the French were writing in French and English in English. And after we were making the translation, and it became the bilingual script afterwards.
So was one version written first and then it was bounced back, or?
No, each author was writing his own episode.
Ah, okay.
So the French one were writing their own episode in French, and the English in English. And after the parts, each part were translated.
I think that's it. We've run out of time. Thank you all so much again for coming.
Thank you.
And I've got to make an announcement, apparently. You're invited, everybody, I believe, to opening drinks, the opening night premiere drinks at the Carlton Hotel. So hopefully see as many of you there as possible. Thank you very much.